Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. It's hard to believe it, but this will be the third consecutive day with some content going up here on the channel. I can't promise that I'll keep this pace for long, but I have had a little bit more time to kind of focus on or enjoy the hobby of late. And I figured today we would get into this Morgan Brothers cream cheese box. This has been sitting long neglected atop the bookshelf here in my office. Put this together over the winter, and what we have in this box are nothing but buyback cards for my extensive buyback collection that I've picked up online, but I haven't yet kind of organized or assimilated into my documented collection, put them away in their appropriate binders or boxes, and got them on my spreadsheets or in my online collections, etc. So it's kind of a to-be processed box of buyback pickups. And as we normally do in these videos, I'm just going to pull cards for about 10 minutes and see what comes out of the box. And man, we start with an absolute winner immediately out of the gate. I almost want to mic drop it one card into the video here. The 1990 Topps Frank Thomas rookie card from the 2017 Rediscover Topps buyback promotion. The Big Hurt card that was just larger than life to me in my youth as like a 7-year-old opening packs of this stuff. And really happy to find another one of these. I think this is my second copy. I believe I have two. And this one is destined for my 1990 Topps buyback binder. So I am insanely trying to complete a full set of 1990 Topps, all in buyback format. And as you might imagine, this is one of the absolute toughest cards, maybe the toughest to acquire. So that is a huge card for that project. And we're going to stick with baseball. It's mostly baseball in this box. But for our second card, a beautiful 1970 Topps John Blue Moon Odom. Gorgeous card here. I always love the photograph on this one with those weird like water towers beyond the outfield wall. I'm sure somebody out there who is more knowledgeable than I am with these old stadium shots can probably identify where this photo was taken. But really cool card there from the 2015 Topps original buyback program. So this card would have been pack issued twice, 45 years apart, once in 1970 and then again in 2015. Super cool, very cool, colorful card there. We've got back-to-back 1970s here, and this is an awesome card for this Red Sox fan. Bill the Spaceman Lee, who is a local legend here in New England, debuted with the Red Sox. In fact, this is his rookie card. Wildly off-center and in buyback format. I remember scoring this one really cheap. Like, I think people get turned off by like the OC nature of some of these cards, but if you've collected these as long as I have, I can tell you there just aren't a million of these out there. Unlike the normal standard 1970 Bill Lee rookie card, there are very few stamped buybacks. So for cheap coin, I couldn't pass this up. Of course, he had a larger-than-life personality, somebody who's dedicated really his whole life to baseball, and was pitching not even that long ago. I think he may be retired now, but pitched to an advanced age even after his MLB career wound down. And of course, this shot was taken at the iconic Fenway Park. You can tell by that Sitco sign over the wall there, atop the Green Monster in the background. Just really cool. Not atop the Green Monster, but behind the Green Monster across the street a ways. But just a cool rookie card, I guess a pair of rookie card buybacks here out of the first three cards to get us started. So pretty good stuff. And then we got a fun one here. This is the 1979 Topps team card for the Seattle Mariners. I feel like this might have been their first year in the league. And my apologies to Mariners fans. I don't do any research. I do these videos off the cuff. So sometimes I get my facts a little messed up. But looks like maybe a team photo here in front of the Seattle Kingdom. And if this is kind of the inaugural Mariners team with that shot as well, it's just really cool. I feel like they may have started in 78. I might have that wrong, but either way, early Mariners card there, and love and miss those team cards in the flagship set. Okay, here is a cool one. I gotta take the tape off the top of this one because it would be a shame to block this out from view. Got a hockey buyback here. So I do have a pretty extensive collection of hockey buybacks as well. There have been numerous hockey buyback programs, just like there have been in baseball. But the most popular ones, and probably my personal favorite as well, is the inaugural Upper Deck hockey release that this card was from. Came out in 1990. So it's hockey's equivalent to 1989 Upper Deck Baseball. And they've done two different buyback programs for this. This is the latter of the two, done in 2014-2015 Upper Deck to celebrate the 25th anniversary of that inaugural set. And as such, all of the cards are hand numbered to 25, as well as getting this foil stamp added on. These are exceedingly difficult, especially now 10 years in the rearview mirror as buybacks even. You just don't run across these. And of course, Mike Modano here is a Hall of Famer, and this is a star rookie team subset card. So somewhat of a rookie. It's probably not officially considered a rookie because it is a subset card, but it's a rookie year card of a Hall of Famer in buyback format, number the 25, just an epic hockey card right there. And shout out to my buddy Peeps, who I know is a big North Stars and Minnesota sports fan. I know he'll dig that one if he catches this episode. Moving on, we have, I guess it's 1970 Topps Day here. This Wayne Comer was picked up just really because it's a Seattle Pilots buyback. I love the Pilots cards. They were only in 2 years of the Topps flagship release, 1969 and 1970, before that franchise relocated. So I love tracking these down when I can find them. And this is a Heritage box topper buyback from 2019 Topps Heritage, just like the Bill the Spaceman Lee. You would have pulled one of these from the top of your hobby box, individually wrapped. And yeah, this is, I don't know this location either, but I know it's a well-known location that was used on many spring training shots from this era. So if you know this or the John Blue Moon Odom photo location, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear it. Here's an interesting one. This is outside the realm of what I would normally pick up, but it was cheap, and it's Ted Williams. So this is from the 2024 Topps Advent program. You can tell by this ornament stamp here with the year 2024. You would get two of these individually wrapped in your Advent kind of hobby box around the holiday season last year. But this originally was in an Allen and Ginter, and it was an insert set in 2014 called Pastime's Pastime, which is a kind of a dumb name for an insert set if you ask me. And really with the buybacks, I try to stick to flagship cards initially in buyback format. So I wouldn't normally go for like an insert like this. It's kind of obscure, but you know, the opportunity, I guess, to get a Ted Williams buyback. I have a place for this in kind of a little project that I'm doing. And if I recall, it was something like $5. So I decided to just kind of smash by it now and add Ted Williams to the long list of names of Hall of Famers and stars that I have represented in my buyback collection. Next up, here's a really cool one. This is a Lou Brock from the 1975 Topps release, but it's a highlights card from the season prior where he stole 118 bags. Record, of course, that stood for some time till Rickey Henderson came around and obliterated all stolen base records during his career. But really cool card here. I like the dugout shot with those painted cement or cinder blocks, blue cinder blocks behind Lou here. And yeah, I love highlight cards. I love big seasons, records. And you got the write-up here on the back if you want to read this, but pretty neat. So happy to see that one. I picked this one up off of eBay. Seller had it up for I think around $4 or $5. And I'm just, it's hard for me to resist stars and Hall of Famers or significant cards in buyback format because they're just so scarce. When I find them for just a few bucks like that, I'm kind of helpless. It's my way of enjoying the hobby on the cheap. So with a lot of these pickups anyway. Here's a great one. 1991 Topps Kirk Gibson. And making this one even cooler, first of all, the photograph is great. But secondly, this is from the Rediscover Topps buyback program. And it is one of the two rarest foil types, the blue foil, which is a great match for the Dodgers. So that really adds a nice kind of color match element to this one. Blue and red are very, very tough Rediscover Topps foils to get. The bronze, silver, and gold are much more common. You do run into those pretty frequently, but these blues are tough. So pretty cool Kirk Gibson. Don't really collect him, but I will see if this can battle its way into the Frankenset binder at slot number 490. And we'll do at least a couple more today. Okay, this one is really awesome for sentimental reasons. We got another hockey buyback here. Leaf did these Pro Set Memories buybacks in 2020. Pro Set created 3 hockey releases before they eventually, went bankrupt, got out of the trading card game. I know they did at least a football set or two, some non-sport sets, like a Guinness Book of World Records, all kinds of weird stuff. But I thought their hockey sets were great, especially the first 2 of the 3. And 30 years after they initially put out their first release, Leaf, who had the naming rights at the time to Pro Set, did these Pro Set Memories buybacks. So these were cards from those original 3 Pro Set releases, 1990 through 1992, and they were bought back, stamped, and there were 2 variations, gold numbered to 5, might be a little tough to make out, but in this case, this is copy 2 of 5 of the gold, and then they also had 1 of 1 red variations as well. So just 6 total copies of each card were done or were included as part of the buyback program, 5 golds, 1 red, and just across those 3 Pro Set releases. So I'm a total sucker for these. I loved those Pro Set releases, and I really think they're kind of underrated, but unfortunately they became sort of like the laughingstock of the hockey card hobby and sort of representative of the junk wax era, just because so many of them were printed up. But I find the cards to be awesome, so this kind of creates a great crossroads for me, where I can enjoy these cards and collect them all over again, but the buyback program introduces like a real challenge element to chasing them down. Whereas, you could go out and get a complete set or wax box of any Pro Set release for less money than it would cost, to have it shipped to you. The buybacks introduce some scarcity and fun to it. So really happy to see that one. Here's another fun one, Big Sexy Bartolo Cologne on the 1999 Topps release. And it has, again, kind of design matching gold font here for the rediscovered top stamp. And I just loved watching Cologne throughout his career. He was to me, the poster child that you don't need to have the physique of an Olympic athlete to be a pitcher in Major League Baseball. Loved following him. When he hit that home run with the Mets, I want to say it was back in 2016 or something. They made a Topps Now card for it. And it was just fantastic. So this guy had so much fun playing the game, in addition to being really successful. I mean, you don't last 20 years or however long he pitched in Major League Baseball if you're just average or below average pitcher. But aside from that, he just seemed like one of those guys, kind of like Manny Ramirez or others I can think of, that just had so much fun out there on the diamond. It was almost like they were little kids out there getting paid to play the game that they love, versus a lot of the other high-powered, highly paid athletes that seem to approach the game a little bit differently these days. And we're actually going to close it out with this one. This is example 1A of why you kind of short yourself if you only collect Hall of Famers and star players. And I think there are, while I gravitate towards Hall of Famers and stars, of course, as many do, there are so many cool cards from over the years that are no-name guys or just have a cool photo or maybe somebody who was a flash in the pan. And this one I always think of from 1975 Topps. This is the Rudy Mioli, and look at the photo. And just when you consider that this is an Angels card, and he seems to be looking up towards the heavens, arms outspread, dropping his bat. It's I don't know if the photographer or Topps chose this card on purpose with that in mind, or if it's sheer coincidence. But either way, I've always viewed this as one of the perfect Angels cards that you can find out there. There are a couple of others that I've mentioned as well, but this one has to be in the running anyway as an all-time Angels card. And yeah, Rudy Mioli, not somebody you really ever hear talked about, and I guess there's not really a ton of reasons to talk about him, but I think this card is just uniquely awesome, and I'm really happy to have a buyback version. If I'm being honest, I think this card is already in the buyback Franken set at slot 533. But if that is the case and I'm correct, I have another home for this one in mind. So yeah, a very obscure player to end it today. We started with a Hall of Fame rookie card in Frank Thomas, but we end with Rudy Mioli on the 1975 Topps issue. So we'll call it there. I want to wrap this up before I get to the 15-minute mark. If you made it to the end, I truly appreciate it. I'll be back soon with some more cards, buybacks, and otherwise. And until then, I hope you're all enjoying the hobby. Take care.